All right, you heard that music, so you know what it is. It's me, Adam, with a solo bolo. Andrew Reish has the day off, so unfortunately, you get to listen to more rants from me. And I do have some. Now that the season has ended, and now that thankfully we're over everything, and congratulations to the Knicks. Congratulations to everyone who survived it and avoided major injuries and so on and so forth. But this has been just a long, bad season, kind of just all around. I have little bright spots here and there, but for the most part, it was just not fun at all. But then it all ended, and then the new season starts. The league year starts July 1st. So before that, we need to get the draft out of the way. And just a couple thoughts on the draft. First, we knew how it was going to go. Now that all the tanking was in and what worked and what didn't work. And the top 8, we knew what was going to happen. It all went according to plan with the Bansa, Peterson, Boozer, Wilson, the first 4. Then the second group of 4 was just pick the guard you scouted the best and thinks you fits your team. So then I went Wagler, Brown, Acuff, and then Flemings. Then after that, Dallas had their little curveball, and then for the most part, teams just sort of picked who they wanted, and then when you read the analysis and draft grades, that's just basically clickbait at this point. Last year, the Spurs proved just take the best player available. You'll figure it out, because they didn't need Harper. Colin Knippel would have been a way better fit in that team. And, the way he played, yeah, he definitely would have fit well. But you take the pick, and then I'm reading these draft grades, and then I see I don't even remember who anymore. Like one of the sites had like a B for the Utah Jazz, taken to Bansa, number 2. What would have given them an A? Taken Carlos Boozer, whom they don't have a need for, and if Peterson could get, his health right, considering, how high of a prospect he was, and watching his high school stuff, and how, well, he didn't really fit in Kansas at all, but anywho, why did they get a B? Like, what could they have done to get an A? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then you'll see, like, Toronto, something like, they got a D for taking another forward. Well, they draft the players whom they always draft. They have a particular style that they seem to go with. And I remember Colin Murray-Boyles getting a D last year for the Raptors, and all of a sudden, didn't he make, like, second team or something? He was a pivotal role player on that team and got many minutes, which nobody expected anything. And then you see, the clickbait. Well, these were head scratchers, and you'll see like the 50th pick in the second round. First off, the second round, only one team didn't trade their pick. Either then or I think there's only like going into it, there were maybe 2 or 3 second round picks who hadn't swapped hands. But then Orlando traded theirs at the end. Toronto was the only team that kept their pick from day one 7 years ago. Or they might have traded it, but they got it back. But anywho, everybody's just flopping picks. The odds of a second round pick making it and doing something. First off, if you're not in the top 5 or 6, you're getting two-way deals to begin with. So really, two-way deals are, you could just pick anybody. So whether you're a late second round pick or an undrafted free agent, doesn't really matter. You're getting the same two-way deal. So why are you getting a D-? Like, who should you have? Oh my God, can you believe the so-and-so's picked this guy at 50? That's a D-. Like, what were they supposed to do to get an A? It's the second round. You're just picking all seniors. And that was funny, too, just looking at the draft. And then you're looking at the draft. Oh, who slipped? It was literally 3 guys. There are only 3 guys who fell to the second round who were underclassmen and could have gone back for some NIL money, which was Isaiah Evans from Duke, Malik Thomas from Arkansas, and then the center from North Carolina, the Estonian. He was a junior. Visar. And it's funny because there were 3 seniors at the end of the first. I think 2 were from UConn and 1 was from Iowa State. That might have jumped a little bit, but so for the most part, if you were an underclassman and you weren't the first round, oh well, you slipped. Oh well, okay, you fall a couple picks, but why are we reading these draft grades where we're getting C's and D's for everything? It seemed like everybody the draft fell with all the kids going back, all the underclassmen going back. It was just there were 17 point guards. Pick the point guard you like, who fits your team. You know, you like Bennett Sturts, go get him. You like Ibuka Okori, go get him. Oh no, Detroit picked Okori. It got him in the trade at the end. Well, they should have. That's a C-. They should have gotten Bennett Sturts. Like, why? They wanted a backup point guard. They got one. What does it matter which one? The odds of them succeeding anyways are sort of kind of 50-50 at that point in the 20s. Like, you just get somebody who's a serviceable player and can start and do minutes. And that's like, I was talking to people about the Celtics pick who got Chris Sinak from Houston. I'm like, yo, the 27th pick, if I'm not mistaken, both Perkins and Robert Williams were 27th or just down that. You don't need to be an all-star at 27. Not everyone's going to be the next Jimmy Butler. You get somebody who's serviceable, can be a nice center, nice point guard, somebody who could give you solid minutes. Like, that's all you really want. You know, the expectations between, I got, let's say Tatum at 3rd, and then I got Hugo Gonzalez at 26 last year. Yeah, I expect Tatum to be infinitely better than Gonzalez. Oh, Gonzalez is providing minutes? Okay, cool. That's awesome. That's not a wasted pick. So, I don't get the clickbait. The draft was a dud, like we said. It was boring. They really need to revamp the system where just announce trades when they happen. Don't have the guy keep going up to get the hat and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, there was a trade. Which I think he did. Adam Silver forgot. It's like, oh yeah, the number 13 pick is going to Milwaukee as part of a trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, why can't we just have it beforehand? Why do we gotta wait? Why do we gotta wait and make everything look awkward and look? Oh, the guy's going out. Look at that. He's wearing a Miami Heat hat. Oh, he's not gonna play for the Heat. Oh, there's a 3-team trade coming. Who's he gonna wear? Oh, I don't know. It's gonna be meaningless in 10 to 15 minutes, and all the Twitterverse already knows what the parameters of the deal are, but it can't make it to the podium. Therefore, we need to wait till at the end. So, anywho, those are my thoughts on the draft. All right, so as I had said with the draft notes, the Giannis trade finally happened, and what do we learn from it? Did they kind of wait an extra year too long? Could they have gotten a better value if they did it this time last year instead of panicking, panic stretching Dame Lillard and then getting Miles Turner going, we can save this? Like, you could have just gotten a much better haul last year, but I understand where Milwaukee was coming from. You have 2 trades on the line. You had sort of a Jaylen Brown and 2 firsts, this year's first and future first, probably 2030. Why not? So seems like a good year for Giannis. Well, they didn't want to do that because you're not saving any money, and essentially you're only getting 1 future pick. If you were Giannis, you'd want to go because you're not gutting the team for that, and you could have fit with Tatum and had White and Pritchard and all the pieces sort of around you still. But Milwaukee didn't want that, and I understand why, because, like I said, you have 5 years. Or is it 4 years? Maybe 5. You got 4 or 5 years left of $20 million of dead cap money with Damian Lillard's stretch provision. So you need people on rookie contracts to fill that. And Milwaukee's like, well, give us Gonzalez and Shireman too. Well, why would we do that? We're giving you the best player in the deal, the best player you could get in a deal, I should say. But instead, you take Miami's handful of firsts and Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Khalil Ware and Yakashunis. So, of course, you're getting two guys on rookie contracts still, a pick now, plus there's four. They got four guys under rookie deals. So your salaries just go way down. You have bodies, which Milwaukee has shown they're unable to do. And everyone's like, oh my God, they've got their team. Did they really? Like, is the starting lineup of Norman Powell, who I think's a free agent, and they probably can't keep him anyways. So let's just say Davion Mitchell, Pell Larson, Andrew Wiggins, Giannis, and Bam with no bench is going to do something. No, they're not. But you know what's going to happen? You're going to have Russell Westbrook, who's going to be like, you know what, I'll take the veteran minimum to go there. And you'll have Bruce Brown, who's going to go, I'm not washed up. I still got something. I could go there. And even you got like, I wouldn't say DeMar DeRozan, who's like, oh, I'm going to get cut. I could go there for, I assume Miami has their MLE available. Go get it. So they can fill it up with veterans, and it won't be anything. You know, they're not going to miss anything. You're going to get all ring chasers down there who think the Giannis and Bam experiment's going to work. Will it? I don't know. But Milwaukee, they got a few picks because they gave them all away in desperation. Got kind of a starting point guard in Yakashunas, developmental. He could be something. He showed flashes in Miami after he was started off the year injured. You got two lottery picks, essentially, in Brandon Burries and Nate Ament. I expect one of those two to probably do something. You got Taylor Jenkins, who's a known developmental coach. And it was funny. Just harping back on, you read about what the Giannis fallout was and everything. And it was like, oh yeah, nobody liked Doc Rivers. Well, maybe you shouldn't have gotten your first guy fired first. And it's like, well, then Giannis was like, I don't want to say anything because I already got my first coach fired, so I can't stick my head out too much. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you got your first coach fired and your second coach was far worse. And then everything fell apart. Oh, another interesting note about that was they said even if Damian Lillard didn't get injured, he probably would have been traded away anyways. So I'm like, I don't know what they were thinking or probably could have gotten for him. But this is what happens when you do desperation moves. You keep just digging yourself deeper in the hole. And you need a super awesome scouting department and draft crew to get you cheap players. Like, also, you know how Miami's going to be good? Because they've mastered the G League pipeline in getting players from nowhere, send them up to Sioux Falls for a couple months. Then all of a sudden, bam, they're getting like $30, $40 million deals after a couple years. Like, they know how to grow their talent. So Miami's going to be fine. It's Milwaukee who hasn't drafted anybody since, I would probably say, maybe Giannis. And then just looking at their team, like developmental wise, got Andre Jackson might have been, their last pick. They did something. Other than that, what have you done? You got, if you found Ryan Rollins, AJ Green, they're fine. But you're seeing like Memphis run circles with their second round picks. You're seeing Portland, who's getting two-way contract players getting paid. And Milwaukee just has no clue what they're doing. And the Wisconsin Herd, I think, are only like, are they in Madison or they're close? They're only like an hour or two up the road. It's not like they're halfway across the country. So you could just but if you can't draft, you can't do anything, and you make desperate moves, this is what happens. And speaking of desperation, and on that note, let's talk more desperation, shall we? The Minnesota Timberwolves, my friends. you can see it coming the same way you saw this with Phoenix and you saw it with Brooklyn. You're just chasing, and I don't know if the return on that's going to be. Is that backcourt going to be super spectacular? Yeah, totally. How are you going to guard those two? Well, you're not going to. The same way when you added Kyrie to Luka. That was probably the last major desperation trade of let's bring that in for him. Let's free up Edwards to do his thing. And he's not going to get a double team because you need to put somebody on ball as well. However, and this is why I suspect it was kind of a panic move, because if they knew this was coming, even let's just say Charlotte, if both these teams knew this was coming, wouldn't you have drafted differently? We knew Minnesota was going to make a move because they traded out of their 28th pick into the second round for the right to dump the $30 million of Julius Randle. So we know they're doing something. Okay. With that pick, wouldn't you have sort of gotten a big man as opposed to, I believe they took Isaiah Evans, the one who slipped from Duke, who's just sort of a small forward, 6'6". They got rid of Julius Randle, their starting four, and Naz Reid, their backup four. So are you just going to play Jaden McDaniels at the four? And who's his backup? I don't know. You think you would have drafted one instead of giving, obviously getting also, yeah. Would you have given Ayo DeSumo $112 million if you know we're just going to get LaMelo Ball, hoping he stays healthy? Now, Charlotte, same thing. I mean, remember last year was they can't get rid of him. His contract's toxic. He's going to be untradeable. You have to put first round picks with him. All of a sudden, he has one good year. So we all said LaMelo Ball could be good if he's healthy, but he's never healthy. He stayed healthy. He showed you could do so. They got rid of him as fast as they possibly could, and they got a massive haul back from him. You get Naz Reid, 3 pick swaps, 3 second-round picks, and a first-round pick for him and Josh Green. Wow. But then again, if they knew this the day before this trade happened, would you have spent a late lottery pick on Hans Steinbach, a power forward, when you just got Kalkbrenner last year? You have Moussa Diabate, and then you add this third center, and then you get Naz Reid. Like, what do we... You didn't see that coming, did you? Yeah, it's interesting that this seemed to happen after the fact, after they spent millions of dollars paying professionals within their organization to give guys in the draft who one day later kind of didn't fit. And, like, what are we doing? You see, now with draft grades, you could be like, what are you doing drafting a fifth center to a team now? Yeah, Naz Reid's your 4. Okay. So Steinbach's don't you have Tajon Saloon? Whatever happened to him? He's still on the team. You got to do something with him. You got Miles Bridges. You got to, oh, wait, let's ship out Miles Bridges to Phoenix. And how about this? Let's ship out Miles Bridges to Phoenix. Let's attach a first to it for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and later firsts. Like, did you need to, that's what I don't get that trade. Did you need to give a first away with it? I know you basically just swapped first to get a Phoenix first, and Phoenix, their pick moves up because they don't have any picks either because due to desperation. But it's just funny how they spent Charlotte, I'm talking about, spent all these years in just the dumpster. You have one good draft, and then, a couple good drafts. But, Brandon Miller, he's been injured his whole time. He's going on his 4th year now, and I think his first 2 years ended in ended season injuries. But, okay, we had said Bridges had to be gone. But okay, let's ship him and LaMelo Ball out. So let's have two completely different teams. And so now Colby White is your starting point guard. I mean, that's a downgrade. But getting Grayson Allen, Knipple, you've gotten shooting and you've gotten big. I mean, you're just kind of a point guard away now from doing something, as opposed to they used to be a point guard who had very little else. But see, Milwaukee, yeah, you're desperate, and now look where you are. Minnesota's going down that desperation train. It's like, well, that's not going to work. And what are you doing trading a pick 7 years from now for this duo who's definitely not going to be together after 7 years? Yeah, you know what else isn't going to be on that 7 years? GM, front office, coach, everyone else isn't going to be there either because they're going to be in rebuild mode. And it's, also if Edwards is like, I'm out, you could get a haul for him too. So it's not like diminishing value. Even when, like I said, Giannis left, you still got, what do they get, 2 or 3 firsts from it? So it's not like Memphis and John Morant, who, thanks to this, which I think is solely constructed by these harsh tax penalties and double tax lines and all that. That's what kept everyone away from him. Because if it was just, let's add a salary, okay, we'll pay the tax, whatever. But now since everything gets so heavily restricted, last year it went from Sacramento will give you a first and Devin Carter. And I don't even know who else would have filled out their salary. But that was basically the rest. And now Memphis has to attach a first to get rid of him. So it's just amazing how fast things change. And speaking about how fast things change, let's just go into the quick salary talk. And we're going to go with DC, giving basically a max deal if they had traded, if it was a sign and trade from Atlanta. Like, what are you doing giving 4 years, $200 million? Now, this isn't the, well, they shouldn't pay him anything and he should get like maybe the mid-level exemption, $40 million. No. He deserves money, but I think everybody sort of thought, like, give him 40. Like, he's opting out of 45. Okay, give him 3 years of 40. Not, let's give him a raise on top of it. Like, who are you bidding against? And that contract you could say is good. But what's going to happen when AD already wants an extension? Where's that coming? And okay, cool. You got all those young guys. You got, where are they going to get paid? You got Sarr. He's going to be getting money in a couple years. You just, Debansa's on your roster now. If he's going to turn out how everyone thinks he's going to turn out, you need money for that. Remember how Bilal Coulibaly was supposed to be paid, and after his first year, he's untouchable, and we'll trade everyone but him. Now he can't shoot, so there's not even a spot for him now because, well, you got Will Riley, who seemed to be doing pretty well. And the undercard, you got Champagny, too, sitting there, and Trey Johnson is the backup guard for them. Like, spots fill up fast, and so what are you doing, DC? Overpaying him. Oh, no, he was going to leave. So no team was going to give him $50 million. No team has $50 million except for Brooklyn. You think Brooklyn's going to pay him? They just drafted a point guard in addition to having a point guard last year and then having 3 more guards they drafted because they had 5 picks last year, none of which are turning out good right now. So, yeah, who are you bidding against? DeSumo to, re-signing Minnesota. At the time, I thought it was a good deal because he was a good point guard next to point guard option. He was a good point guard option next to Edwards. But then you get LaMelo Ball, so that's pretty expensive 6-man. You got Colby White getting, what do you get, $30 million, $25-30 million to go back to Charlotte. Okay, cool. He's your starting guard now, so you need to pay him. Yeah, Phoenix, I thought, did really good. Give out solid backup money. So you got Jordan Goodwin, Colin Gillespie, and Mark Williams. Or Trae Young. I'd rather have Gillespie sitting there on, what was it, 15, 17 million as opposed to 50 million to Trae Young. But that's just me, and that's why I'm sitting here And that's why I just sort of rant in a microphone to myself for the benefit of the AI bots to train them on bad NBA takes, pretty much. But anywho, so in summation, the draft was a dud. Teams are panicking now. You have the whole Boston situation with Jaylen Brown, which I'm not going to get into. But I will just say, reading what I'm reading, and if they get back, like, if they value like 3 or 4 first round picks as opposed to a player, it's just like, well, you're sort of half blowing up the team. I understand your logic to an extent of you can't win with those two guys because you don't have a center or a power forward. You can't keep playing Tatum at a power forward and playing small ball and just shoot threes all day, which is what they did or what they do. You need a team, but if you're just going to trade Brown for basically scrap pieces and like, oh, well, this guy has potential. Like, that's what happened when Minnesota traded Kevin Garnett. And, well, here's Sebastian Telfair. Here's Al Jefferson. Here's Gerald Green. These are all up-and-coming people. Yeah, but you're sending out the best player in the deal, and you're getting back sort of pieces you can hope you mold. That doesn't really sound like a title contender now, does it? So I'll be interesting to see where that goes. Free agency starts the first day of the league year, July 1st. Austin Reeves signed his max deal. We know teams are allowed to. Teams are permitted to talk to their own free agents to re-sign them. So the days of that July 1st midnight free agent frenzy is over because there's no one really exciting who's available, who's like, oh my God, they could steal him, because it's just all trades now. And as we've seen with LaMelo Ball and Giannis and soon to be Jalen Green, yeah, that's how it's going. You sign the max deal first, wait a year, and then flip it. And speaking of flipping it, I think it's my time to flip out of here. Thank you for listening to my rants. Sorry Andrew Reich could not be here, but that's just kind of the way the season's gone, hasn't it? Don't worry, it's over soon. So, behalf of Andrew Reich, I'm Adam Murray. Have a good one. Take care, y'all.